morning, Mr. Boo Boo.
Good morning, friends, and welcome back. I am going to show you how to take a porcelain house like this. I already put the chalk paint on it, and decoupage over a slick surface, over an uneven surface, and you see this metallic copper on the top? That's a new product that I'm going to show you how to use because I'm really excited about it, and it comes in several different colors. By the way, thank you so much for getting my ebook on Amazon. You can download this book at the introductory price right now, and the book is mainly an adjunct to all of the videos. It's for Kindle, your iPad, or your iPhone, or other smart devices. And here is how we're going to get this project done. So I took chalk paint and I already painted the chalk paint on it a while ago and left it sit out in the garage. But naturally, as we were cleaning up and prepping to move, I found this and I said, let me just make one more video. Let me get a video out there. So my husband said, yeah, I could use a break from all of this packing too. So I took my brush and just painted this whole thing with, by the way, this is the Deco Art chalk paint for glass. I can't seem to find it in stock on Amazon, so I can't put a link down below to it. If you don't have that, I will put a link to Deco Art. Also makes a product called Adhesion Medium, which works just as well. You put that on any shiny surface first, and then you add your paint, whether you want to use acrylic or chalk paint. Now you see that I'm pouncing this surface because it's an uneven surface. And I want to make sure that I get that paint inside all of those grooves. Now you can see I'm working on one of these smaller houses, and I wanted to make sure that I had a napkin that fit, but I don't want to cover the whole surface. So I'm going to cut this napkin into quarters because it will fit all around the house. And here's the product I wanted to show you. It's been around for a while. I never knew how to use it, so I started to learn. I'm really impressed with it. So before I decoupage, I want to make sure that I don't get any of this new medium on my napkin, and I also wanted it to match at least one of the colors in my napkin. So this is the metallic luster. This one's called Copper Kettle. It comes in so many colors. I hope I can find the link to put down below so that you can see all of the colors. But the trick with this is you really need to buff it after you apply it. So this is a soft microfiber cloth. This comes out with soap and water so easily too. And you want to apply it to whatever surface you're applying it to. Now I could have left it like this without anything getting into those grooves, but I kind of wanted to cover the whole thing so that there was no white showing in between those bricks. And that's a preferential thing. You may want to leave some open spaces or not. But what I did was I switched over, after I covered the whole surface, I switched over to this firm, small paintbrush. This made it a lot easier to get into those grooves, and you can see I'm just working on the roof here. When I finished applying that with the brush, I took the clean part of this microfiber cloth and I buffed this out. So it brought it up to this really beautiful shine, and I was even wondering, how am I going to top coat a wax, because it just seems like it wouldn't work well together. However, the instructions do tell you to use the spray can, I'll have the link down below, of the top coat over this, which I did do and it worked. I'll show you that. I used that over the whole surface after I was finished decoupaging. But you also see I got a little bit of this copper down below the line where I wanted it, and that was such an easy cleanup. Look how simple this buffing is though, it's so shiny, it's starting to look like a little metal roof, a copper roof, I should say. So let me show you how I cleaned the excess that I got around here, because you can see I have little spots here and there where I overextended beyond the roof this wax, and that's where I'm going to decoupage. So I just took some plain old alcohol. I hope you can get your hands on some of this. And I dipped my cotton swab in there and very easily just rubbed away any part of that wax that I did not want. So now that I have cleaned up all of the edges, I'm taking my decoupage brush, and even though I prefer the angled brush like I'm using here, you can use any brush shape that you want, but you really do want to make sure you're using a bristle brush. Don't use a sponge brush here, this won't work. So once I dampened my fingertips very lightly, I pinched the corner of the napkin to separate it, and I'm going to lay the napkin down over a dry surface. And I always use this Americana napkin decoupage glue because it is much lighter and it goes right through the napkin. And this helps you get into any uneven surfaces. So I'm placing the napkin exactly where I want it. I am making sure that everything is dry underneath the napkin. And I'm going to, in essence, it's like I'm painting the napkin on. Now you want to play around with the pressure here. Obviously, you've got to have a firm enough hand so that you're getting the napkin down into the grooves, but a light enough hand so that you're not tearing your napkin. You'll find out quickly enough. And if you want to experiment on something or experiment with a napkin that you don't like first, try that because then you'll get a very quick idea on what type of pressure to use. It's very simple. You also don't want a brush that has too stiff of a bristle, and the softer it's usually the better, but you really want to avoid sponge brushes. Another benefit about doing this type of decoupage, which I call the dry method, is that while you are applying this napkin decoupage glue, it goes through the napkin so that it helps it adhere to the surface, but you're already automatically applying that second coat over the top. And you'll notice I switched brushes here just because it's a wider brush and it will cover a wider area. So I'm going to go around 3 parts of this and finish decoupaging, as well as this little window area up here by my left thumb. I'm just going to cut out a small part of the napkin to put up there. But I'm going to let this dry, and on the back, I used metallic paint just for comparison. I wanted to use the Deco Art metallic paint and do a side-by-side comparison to the roof there, which I'll show you in a minute, but I wanted to show you down on the ends here. You can either put a very heavy coat of decoupage glue on here and tear away this excess, or you can wait until it's dry. See what you're more comfortable with, because sometimes when you pull it away while it's wet, it can pull away some of the napkin from the area where you want it to stay behind. So if you're doing decoupage for a while, you probably feel okay with pulling the napkin away now while it's wet. But if you're kind of new to this, you may want to wait until it dries and then just file it away. By the way, you can see I'm using the small brush to push some of the excess napkin back up under the roof where you're really not going to see it. Once I'm done with everything, I'm just going to let this dry. Now this section, everything's dry, and I'm filing in one direction. Now you can see that as I'm pulling away the napkin, there's going to be a white spot there, but I'm looking forward to that because I can actually outline that with the copper wax, and that's going to pull it all together. So I'm just getting rid of all of this excess over here. And I wiped away any dust from the filing. And again, I'm using that swab and I dipped it in the wax and I'm going to put it down along these sides. You can see how it's a little bit darker here because it's still wet, or I haven't buffed it out yet. And then I'm just going to buff it out with a clean dry cloth. And so here is how our house looks. But look at this copper roof. I can't believe how that really looks like metal. By the way, here is the metallic paint. I painted it on the back. The color's a little bit different. It would have taken a couple of coats. I only painted one coat, and that was just to show you the difference between the wax, which is right up top there, right here, and then this is how the paint looks. So especially in this case, the wax looks a lot deeper and more rich to me. It looks a lot nicer with this particular project. And now I'm going to spray this top coat on, which is the Americana Gloss Sealer. I'm going to take it outside. You don't need to see me spray this on. But as a rule, you want to spray on one light coat, let it dry, and spray on a second light coat. This spray that I'm using is also weatherproof, which means it can take the elements, including the sun. So if you're doing this on a birdhouse, you can do this outside. And here's how the house looks now that it's completed. And I'm just loving this copper up on the top. I sprayed the top coat on it. As you can see, it's dry, it's not cracking. It's been about a week now. It still looks beautiful. And just so you know, I did experiment with triple thick over top of this on a frame just because I wanted to see if that also worked, and it did. So again, guys, all of the links are down below for these products. You'll see that I'm using a new craft mat that up in the right hand corner there. You can see the name of it, but that is nail polish that I painted on there about a half an hour ago, and look how that peels right up. I'm not making any money off of this. I'm going to put the link down below for this mat because they come in round, in large sizes, smaller sizes. It's got this really cool tacky finish, and it's great for any crafting. So I'm really impressed with this craft mat, which I think is pronounced Lolly Vifi. And you can see it also looks like Love Life up there, the way they have the letters. Very clever. So guys, that's our video for the week. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for going through my Amazon channel, and thank you for getting my book. This is all helping me, and I appreciate you guys who have been with me for so long. This baby was born in our backyard, and I've got a zoom lens. Don't worry, I'm not anywhere near it. That's why the camera's so shaky, and the mother's not that worried about me. She can see me though. So my friends, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you enjoyed these nature shots. Look at that beautiful little baby. And I will see if I can make a video for next week. If I can't, I'll post an older video on my Facebook page. Thanks, my friends. Bye-bye.